Hallo, guten Tag. Welcome to this second round of pronunciation tutorials for German. This is aimed at Year 7 German, but I imagine probably useful for any year groups. So today we're going to look at the difference between the E sound and the I sound. We're also going to look at the OW sound in German, the AU, the D at the end of a word, so a T sound, and then the different sounds for sh. We're also going to look at the g sound in German. So 5 sounds for you to have a think about. And we're going to kick off with the IE, EI. Now this one has a little rhyme that goes along with it to help you remember. So what we say in German is when the E and the I go walking, the second letter does the talking. So that's kind of our little phrase to help you remember. And if you have a look, when the E and the I go walking, so we have E, I sounds like I. Okay, it sounds that letter. And then the other way round, I-E sounds like E. So that's where this phrase comes from. When the E and the I go walking, the second letter does the talking. I-E. Okay, super. So we're going to do a little bit of practice of that then. Starting you off with a bit of a challenge this morning because you are going to have a mixture of E's and I's and E's. So I'm going to hold up the words on the screen, and just like before, if you pause your video and then you can play it when you're ready to hear me pronounce them correctly. Viel. Weil, weiter, Dieb, Pleite, weiß, 7, mein. Good gemacht. Okay, super. We're going to move on then to the AU sound in German. Now, AU in German sounds like ow, ow, as in someone's just trodden on your foot. Okay, so ow. Now, one way I think is quite helpful to try and remember this is a very famous car manufacturer, a German car manufacturer called Audi. Now, we don't ever refer to them as Audi. We know that they are called Audi. We also know that they are German. So if that helps you, try and think of that car manufacturer and remember that ow sound for AU. Okay, are we ready? Pause your screen. Haus, blau, Maus, laut, glauben, erstaunlich, Baum, Augen. Super, gut gemacht. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to move on to the next sound, which is the D in German. Now, D in German usually just sounds the same as it would do in English. However, in certain words, so when the D occurs at the end of the word, it has a harder sound, so more like a T. Okay, so we probably are most familiar with this already with our word und, meaning and. We don't say und. We say und with a T sound, okay? So let's have a go. Hund, Freund, und, Wand, Geld, Pferd, Wald, Bild. Super. Okay, super. Now, the next one that we're going to move on to is quite complex actually. Now, in English, we have a CH, and we learn when we're in primary school, when we're learning our phonics, we learn that CH makes a ch sound in English, okay? All very well and good until you start to learn another language and find out that it doesn't usually make that sound in other languages. So the ch sound doesn't exist in German, okay? You won't ever hear that harsh ch sound. There are 2 main different ways that we make this sound in German when you see the CH, okay? It's a little bit complicated, this, and the rules basically, if you have an I before the CH, it will be a nice soft sh. So a little bit like a cat hissing, essentially. So that sh sound. And I always say that you should feel the breath on your chin when you make that sound. So it should sound ich. So we don't say itch. No itching, please, in German lessons. We also don't say ich. Okay, so not that hard k sound, but a softer ich. And if you put your finger on your chin there, you should be able to feel your breath as you make that sound. Ich. Okay, super. So that's after the I, ich. We also have a slightly further back sound, and it is more of a sound, okay? Now this one, I think it's a little bit like when you get a piece of popcorn stuck at the back of your mouth and you're trying to get rid of it. Like that, okay? Or I know Mr. Sacco says that it's like the sound of a scouser, and she's allowed to do that because she is a scouser. So that sound is kind of for the other CH words. So in our example, probably the most common one that you've come across is mache. Mache, as in ich mache meine Hausaufgaben. I do my homework. Okay. Now, whilst we're on the topic of the sh sound or the ch, we also have to consider that in German, to make this sh, the soft sh sound, we usually will see sch, and that is how that sound is usually made. So sch makes a sh sound. The temptation, I think, with English speakers when we see that word is to try and pronounce the C as well, because obviously we're used to seeing sh making the sh sound, but if we put a C in the middle there, it makes no difference in German. So don't try and pronounce the C. Okay, and one way that you can try and remember this is to make a C with your finger like this, and then put it over your lips as you say shh, to remind you that there is that C there, shh, but it's a shh sound. Okay, so to really challenge you, there are 3 different sounds there. We've got the soft sh of the CH after an I. We've also got the slightly further back sound of a with CH kind of everywhere else in words in German. And then we've got the sh sound of SCH. So have a go. There's a mixture of these sounds here. Pause your screen and press play when you're ready to hear me say them. Schule, Schulter, Schloss, beschreiben, Bildschirm, machen, doch, sprechen, lachen, Richtung, Licht, nicht, Stichwort. How did you do? Good gemacht, well done. Okay, we are going to finish then. The last sound is the German G. Now, you'll remember in our first pronunciation tutorial, we went through our alphabet in German, and we remember that in German, we don't say G with a J sound, but G. So the German letter G is G, and that should remind us then that the German G will always sound G. Okay, always a G sound, never J. In fact, the J sound doesn't exist in German, so always J. Always G, sorry. The J we make in English with 2 different letters. We can make it with a G. We can also make it with a J. And as you probably know, the J in German also doesn't sound J, it sounds as a Y. So as in Jacke. Jacket. But the sound that we're going to focus on just now is this G sound. So whenever you see the G, you must remember to pronounce it G, not J. So have a go. Pause your screen. Gerade, geben, Garten, gern, genial, gefallen, genug, Griechenland. Good gemacht. Now this last one, I just want to hold this one up here because this actually is a really good word for testing a lot of the sounds that we've just looked at recently. So if you have a look at this word, you've got obviously the g at the beginning there, then you've got your e here, so gris, and then you have your ch sound, so Griechen, and it finishes with a d, so t at the end there. So we've got Griechenland. So lots of different sounds in that one word. I hope it's been a useful tutorial today and good luck. Viel Glück. Tschüss.